So in this class, we are basically going to continue the same thing like group theory. As in our last class, we started with group theory, few examples. So what is group? As you remember, G is a non-empty set and the composition is a binary operation on G satisfying few properties. If few properties are satisfied, we call it as a group. So here G is a non-empty set and composition is a binary operation from G cross G to G satisfying few properties. For example, it satisfies associative law, it satisfies the inverse property or the identity property initially. So there exists an element E belongs to G satisfying the property like E composition A equal to A composition E equal to A for all A belongs to G, and also the identity property. What does it mean? Sorry, inverse property. What does it mean? It means that for each A belongs to G, there exists some B belongs to G such that A composition B equal to B composition A equal to E, and it has to be true for each A. Okay, so here E is called the identity element of G, and this property is called the inverse property. So if it satisfies all these properties, then we call G and this composition as a group on G. Okay, so we started with few examples, and I started with a geometrical interpretation of some groups. For example, I started with an equilateral triangle and I constructed all possible symmetries on that group, and we have seen that that forms a group having 6 elements: the identity element, the rotation, then rotation square, then flip, then RF, R square F. So all those things we have already experienced in our last class. So it has 6 elements. The same group can also be viewed through the permutations, like on if I consider A to be the set 1, 2, 3, and if I consider all permutations from A to A, if I consider all permutations from A to A, then we know that there exists 3 factorial many permutations. And if I consider all such permutations, for example, E, then 2 cycles 1, 2, then 1, 3, then 2, 3, and then the 3 cycles 1, 2, 3, and 1, 3, 2. So in our last class, we have already developed this symbols. What does it mean? It means that 1, 2, 3. So 1 goes to 2 and 2 goes to 1. And since the element 3 is absent here, that means 3 goes to 3. I think someone is waiting for us. Okay. So as I already mentioned, the notation is like this. Similarly, if I consider this, the notation is like this: 1, 2, 3. So 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, and then 3 again goes to 1. Means 3 goes to 1 and so on. So this group and this group, they basically are same. So in what respect they are same? That we have in our last class we have already experienced that the construction of these two groups are same. Basically we have, so this rotation corresponds to some element here, R square also corresponds to some element here, flip also corresponds to some elements here, and so on. So for each element here there exists some element here, that means like this, and the rotation has some meaning, like flip has some meaning. Flip, we consider this to be symmetry about this axis. So that means if I consider this 1, then this is 2, and this is 3, then flip means after having a flip, this will come here and this will come here. That means 1, 2 was my, sorry, this 3 remains, 1 remains fixed. That means 2, 3 will be my flip, because here 1 goes to 1, 2 goes to 3, and 3 goes to 2. So this is represented through this flip. Okay. So this flip is nothing but, so here the flip is nothing but this element and so on. So we have already seen that there is a kind of one-to-one correspondence between the elements here and here. So in that respect, we say that these two groups are similar. So afterwards, maybe after 3 or 4 classes, we'll come across with very important term of algebra known as isomorphism. Isomorphism. I am not talking anything about isomorphism at this point of time. Then we will see that in what respect these two groups are same. So here, if you consider this is as G1 and this is as S3, then in what respect these two groups are exactly same, that notion could be captured by using the mathematical technical term isomorphism. So that I will come to you after maybe 2 or 3 classes, but for the time being, just try to understand that when I constructed these two groups, I constructed actually from this triangle and try to find out all possible symmetries on this equilateral triangle, and that's all. So that's the basic idea of how shall I get from an abstract thing, and that's why you can understand the name abstract algebra. So I started with a triangle, and from nowhere I basically came up with two different kind of groups. But actually, what at the end of the day, what we found that they are basically the same. So it looks quite abstract, but that's the basic aim of abstract algebra, to try to find out some similarities between two abstract things, and they are basically abstract, so they are sets, just a set, two sets, and how they are similar. So try to find out similarities among many sets. That is known as a kind of properties, one of the important properties for algebra, to find out few of the relations or few of them similarities between different algebraic objects. So that's the basic aim. Okay. So in our last class, we have already seen these two groups. Okay. So as I mentioned in my last class, I requested all of you to give me 20 example each, right? And I have already given few examples like Z plus, we have already seen Q plus, we have already seen say 2Z plus, set of all even numbers with respect to addition, and so on. So in general, if you consider NZ, plus where n is say greater than equal to 1, then that will form suddenly a group. Then we have R plus, then we have C plus, and if you are enough bored with this addition, then you may think of something different. For example, we started with Z with respect to multiplication, but in my last class somebody pointed out that okay, that cannot be a group because you cannot have the inverse of 0 in Z. Also, you cannot have an inverse of 2 in Z with respect to this multiplication. So this does not form a group. Then we started with okay, why not then Q with respect to star? That means Q, then simply discard the element 0 and then consider with respect to multiplication. And then people told me that okay, that forms a group. Similarly, R star with respect to dot, that also forms a group. Similarly, C star with respect to dot, that also forms a group. Then you may think, okay, why not then positive rational numbers? Why not then possible positive rational numbers with respect to multiplication? That is also group. Now, if I consider negative rational numbers, okay, so Q with respect to negative rational number, and if I consider with respect to multiplication, will this form a group? Anybody from the class?
No,
Will
no.
will
No, sir.
It's not a group? Why not?
If two negative numbers are multiplied, then we get a positive number. So
Very good. So closure property could be hampered, and then maybe yes, you may not have the multiplicative inverse properly. Okay, yeah. So the closure property is not there. That means it cannot be a group. Okay. Then consider set of all irrational numbers. So you know what do you mean by irrational numbers? So if I consider say I equal to set of all irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. And then consider I with respect to multiplication. Will this be a group? Yes or no?
No,
No,
because
sir.
root 2
No,
into
sir.
root 2 equals to 2, which is
Very good.
irrational.
So root 2 is irrational. If I multiply root 2 with root 2, that becomes 2, which is a rational number. So that means again it would be a problem with respect to the closedness. So that is also a big no, because that is also not a group. Okay. So if I look at, we consider all of them as infinite groups, right? So all of them are infinite groups. So in my last class, I have talked about, I touched upon the term cardinality. So what do we mean by cardinality? So for finite case, if a set A is finite, then we can certainly count how many elements are there. But if the set is infinite, for example, Z, the group Z, this as a set, this is infinite. So you cannot be able to end up with the number by through counting. That means you can never be able to stop yourself to count. So wherever you will go, then there must be some next number. So you cannot stop. So that is why it's an infinite concept. Okay. Now this infinite concept, so then how to tackle with this set, or even natural numbers, or in Q, or say R. Okay. So you will find, in as I mentioned in my last class, that there is a term called cardinal number or cardinality. Cardinality. Okay. Then you will able to find that these sets are kind of similar kind of things, and this set is suddenly kind of different. And in that respect, we'll say that the cardinality of R is more than the cardinality of Q, and hence the cardinality of Q is strictly less than the cardinality of R. But all these sets, they do have the similar cardinality. Okay. Then you will find that in your class you might have gone through the cardinal numbers or something. If it is not yet done, certainly you will have in your course the cardinal numbers, and that's very important, showing that how to give a kind of natural number, bijective correspondence between the set natural numbers into, say, Q, or natural numbers, or Q into natural numbers, and so on. So it's a kind of, you will find some kind of bijective correspondence between them, and then you will able to conclude something regarding the cardinal numbers. But I'm not going to give you about this alif not and all. So that will be discussed in a separate course. But for me, it's all of them are infinite. So for me, infiniteness means which is not finite, we call it infinite. But as I mentioned, infiniteness might have different meanings in different aspects. Okay. But for algebraists, infinite means it is not finite. That's all. Okay. But if something more will be required, then I will come to you later on. Okay. So then, as I mentioned in my last class, that I need around 20 examples which are not discussed yet. And I told you to write it on your exercise book. So I asked some question to somebody. Could you please repeat the answer? You started with a said. I think I asked the question to whom? To, I forget his name. Yeah. Could you please repeat? I think Biki. Yeah, I asked the question to Biki. So give an example of an interesting group that you find. Okay. So Biki, could you please repeat your answer? So you started with a set, as I remember. You started with a non-empty set, and you consider all consider the power set of A, right? And then you have given operation like this, the symmetric difference. So all elements of power set of A is basically a subset of A, right? Including phi and A. And on that, he has given an operation symmetric difference. So what is the meaning of symmetric difference? Say X symmetric difference Y. Can somebody define how it is defined in terms of union and subtraction? Maybe somebody, can somebody tell me what is X symmetric difference Y? Somebody please pick up.
So x minus y
X minus Y
union y minus x.
union Y minus X. Is it correct? Do you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So Vicky has given an example that according to him, this is a binary operation because this takes as some a and not a is already there, some x and y, and after that whatever he gets, that will be an element of power set of a, because it will also a subset of capital A. If I consider a x and y are subsets of a, then certainly after doing this union and subtraction, certainly that will be an element. So this is no doubt, this is a binary operation. Now you need to show that there exists an identity element, it also satisfies the associative property and also the inverse. So checking this associative property is a lengthy process, but I request all of you to please check it whether that's really gives you the associative property or not. It's a really a lengthy process, but please do that. So for a mathematician, you should learn how to do rigorous mathematics. That's why there will be plenty of steps and you may feel that it's unnecessary and boring, but I request all of you to please check whether this is an associative operation or not. That means you need to check say x, y, and say z, and then x, y, and z. Then you just check whether you can really shift the brackets, and that should be true for all x, y, z subset of a. Okay, so okay, so I assume that you will do this associative property. Can anybody tell me what is the identity element of this group? Identity element, anybody?
So null set. Null set.
Okay, null set is the identity element. Now, if I consider say x subset of A, what would be the inverse of x? Inverse of x will be, what will be the inverse of x?
X itself.
Yes. So, inverse of any element is the self inverse. So, this is called self inverse. Self inverse, that means inverse of that element is that element itself. That is why this is known as self inverse. Okay, very good. So if you are able to check that this is really an associative property, then he has mentioned all the remaining properties, so that forms a group. Okay, very good. Then anybody else, any interesting group that you find? Anybody else? Okay, let me ask this question to somebody. Okay, Debargo Dotto. Debargo, are you here? Debargo? Okay. Then Dolon? Dolon, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me. One of the
আমি
interesting
ছিলাম
group that.
স্যার।
Okay. So I will come to you later on after Dolon maybe. Yeah. So Dolon, please tell one of the groups that you find it very interesting.
A set of n cross n invertible matrix with respect to multiplication.
Very good. Set of n cross n matrices with respect to multiplication. Okay. So what she says, I'm just writing. So say G is the collection of all n cross n matrices, n cross n non-singular matrices. So in your linear algebra initial course, first semester course, I am sure that you know what do you mean by non-singular. That means the determinant of this n cross n matrix should be non-zero. Then we call it as a non-singular matrix. So collection of all n cross n non-singular matrices with respect to multiplication. Okay, I will show you that still some information is missing in your statement. Somebody can point out. So what some information is still missing? Somebody tell me what information should we include here?
Some
Entries,
matrix
real,
multiplication.
real entries or complex
Real.
entries.
Yes, that means you have mentioned about n cross n matrices. Suppose I will denote something, say GLN Z. Okay, what is the meaning of this? This is set of
General linear.
all non-singular 2 cross 2 matrices with entities from Z. That means it will look like this: 1, 2, 3, say 6. Okay. So what extra term that I have added here with entities from Z? That means all the elements here that should be from Z. Now I may also have GLNR. So here instead of Z, it will be from R. For example, say half, 2, 1/3, 5 by 6, or root 5 by 6. That is within GLNR. Okay. So here n equal to 2, right? So here I have considered n equal to 2. So it could be anything greater than equal to 1. If it is 1, then just one entity. If it is 3, then it's a 3 by 3 matrix. Okay. So what you told, Dolon, what you told was one information is missing. Now can you please tell me what information that you should want to include here? What information that you want to include here? Dolon?
With entities from R.
Yes. So multiplication with entities from R. So why not you have chosen Z? What is the problem if you choose the entities from Z? What would be the problem? Can you tell me? So you have chosen from R. Why not from Z? What would be the problem? If you could have chosen it from Z, then what would be the problem? Tell me. Yes, you are right. R is fine. If it is R, then suddenly this will be a group. But what would be a problem if I consider it from Z? What would be the problem? Jolon, can you hear me? Okay. Debargo, can you tell me what would be the problem?
No, sir, I don't know.
Okay, you understand that what is GLNR? So GLNR is clear to you? So GLNR means, you know matrix. Matrix you
Yes,
know.
yes,
So now take collection of all 2 by 2 matrices. Okay. Now you need to find out from where you will take the entities. That means this kind of elements. Now consider all 2 cross 2 matrices. So GL2R looks like this kind of matrices, such that A, B, C, D belongs to R. Okay. So this is the set. So this is a 2 cross 2 matrix, and these entities, they are coming from this R. Okay. Now this is a set and I just define dot as the multiplication of matrices. So this is nothing but multiplication of matrices. Multiplication of matrices. So you know how to multiply two matrices? You know, Devajyoti?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if you consider this group along with this multiplication, then suddenly this will form a group. Okay. So here also you need to check the associativity, the closure property, the identity. So what would be the identity element of this? Can tell Devajyoti be able to tell me what would be the identity element of this? So identity elements means some 2 cross 2 matrix, and if you multiply with any element from GLNR, that should also return me back A, B, C, D, even if you change the multiplication ordering. That means if I have A, B, C, D, and if you multiply with this. So what can,
1001, sir.
very good. So this is true for all ABCD belongs to GLNR. So this is true for all ABCD belongs to GL2R. As a result, this would be the multiplicative inverse. Sorry, this is the identity element, not the identity element. Okay. Now I need to show some inverse, right? So let A, B, C, D belongs to GL2R. Okay. So by definition of this, the determinant value would be non-zero. That means that implies AD minus BC is not equal to 0. Right. Now tell me what would be the inverse of this. Can anybody tell me?
So, so D by AD minus BC, and that means the determinant. And then the second element minus B by AD minus BC. Then third element minus C by AD minus BC. And the fourth element A by AD minus BC.
Like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's check very quickly. So if this would be the inverse, then what is this definition? According to this definition, definition will be if I multiply with this element 1 by AD minus BC into D minus B minus CA, then it should give me this identity element back. Okay, then it suddenly, this is a real number, so you can take it out. So AD minus BC and then A, B, C, D into D minus B minus C, A. Now quickly, can you tell me what is this value? This value, multiplication, this matrix value is how much? Quickly. Quickly. I'm waiting for your answer. So you know this matrix multiplication, that means with this, you will have to multiply with this. So what is this value? This is AD
minus BC.
minus BC. Very good. What is this value?
0,
0,
0,
0,
80
0,
minus
80
BC.
minus BC.
BC. Now if you just insert this element inside, then it will be multiplied with all that. Many of the students during the exam, they usually do the mistake. For example, if I ask you what is this value, what is the value of say half, say 1111, so let A is this value. Okay, so what is the value of date of A? Quickly tell me, what is the value of date of A?
0.
Yes. Now, what is the value of, say, if I have this? Quickly.
Minus 1. Sorry, minus 1 by 2.
minus half.
minus 1 by 2.
Minus,
1 by 2.
so it's basically, yes. So it's determinant of this means half into determinant of this, and that is 1 minus 2. That means minus 1, so minus half. Okay. So here also, if you just make it inside all these elements, so that becomes 1 0 0 1. Now you can check yourself that even if you just reverse the ordering like this and this, then also this value becomes this. So after doing this step, what would be your conclusion? Your conclusion will be this is the multiplicative inverse. So this is the multiplicative inverse of ABCD. Okay. So now this is also another interesting group. Okay. Now let me check with the third interesting group. Okay. So all of you have given good and nice interesting groups. So somebody, okay, let's see whom to ask. Oyon Dash, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me one of the interesting groups that you find.
Sir, collection of all n cross n real matrices with operation to addition.
Okay, so what he has taken, so G is the collection of all 2 by 2 matrices with real entities. That means A, B, C, D belongs to R, and then he has taken just addition. Okay, and that becomes a group. So it looks like almost similar, but here the determinant value of this was non-zero, and we have considered, instead of addition, we had considered multiplication, and that was also a group, and this is also a group. Very good. Anybody else? Any interesting group that one want to share with us?
Sir, let's consider a group which has 4 elements,
Okay.
E, A, B, and C, where A square equals to B square equals to C square equals to E. Uh,
A square equal to B square equal to C square equal to E. Yes.
E is the identity element.
Only that operation will be fine. Anything extra information do you require here? Okay, so you told me that only these elements are there, right?
Huh.
Then if you, what would be this element? A dot B. So that is also inside this
C,
group. But you have
C.
not mentioned any relation that will, from here, that you will able to conclude that AB equal to C, right? So one
Yes.
more extra information you need to give. AB equal to C, and then what is BC?
A.
BC equal to A. C. If I consider BC, right? So from
Hmm.
this equation, if I multiply C from the right, then what I will have? A, so BC. Okay, so what I will do? I will do, so how, will you be able to deduce from here to this? Suppose you have this information at your hand. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
will you be able to deduce this from this information?
Uh, yes. First of all, I will A dot B dot C equals to C square.
A dot B dot C equal to C square, and that
E,
is equal to E.
E and
Yes.
A dot B dot C equals to A.
Then you multiply again from the left with A,
Hmm.
right? Then
Yes.
A dot B dot C equal to A dot E. That
Yes.
becomes A square BC equal to
Equals to
A,
A.
and A square is E, that means
Yes.
BC equal to A. So what
Yes.
I want to mention is the information that you provided was not sufficient. For that, you also need to include this relation. And if you have this, that means if you have G equal to E, A, B, C, along with this relation, A square equal to B square equal to C square equal to E, and AB
Mhm.
equal to C, then you will finally come up with all the relations. Okay. Now, can
Okay.
anybody tell me quickly what is the value of BAB? So I have only four elements, right? I need to have BAB in terms of only these four elements. Can anybody be able to tell me what would be
A.
the simplified form of this? So,
A.
okay, very good. So, why? This is because,
Because
so AB is C, that means B into C, and just now we have seen that BC is again A. Okay, just now we have seen. So, though it looks quite complicated, but ultimately with this relations, we could make it simplified and that becomes A. Okay, so that's the importance. So here this is the relation. So there is a important term called representation of groups. Okay, representation theory, something that you will not be able to learn now, but maybe in future, maybe in your master's course, you might heard about this term that is known as representation theory. Representation theory. So you can understand that how you can represent your groups. The same similar way, like S3, we have already explained in S3 how we have explained. So E, R, R square, and then flip, RF, R square F. And also we had few extra symbols and extra relations like R cube equal to F square equal to how much? How much it was?
E.
R cube
E.
equal to E, and then R square F equal to
FR.
F R. Okay. So these extra relation will help you to reduce any complicated form which are obtained through the combination of these symbols will ultimately get into, you can write it into this form. That means suppose I give you like this, R cube F into R F square into say whatever F to the power 14 into R. Then also you will able to reduce by using this representation some of the elements of this form. So only 6 elements will be sufficient to represent any complicated looking term that are obtained by doing some multiplication or composition of these 6 elements. So that's why they are very important. So here also this group, do you know what is the name of this group? You have given a very important group. Do you know what is the name of this group?
Killing four group something.
Yes, it's known as Klein's Ford group. Okay, so just
Lines.
Google it, Klein's Ford group. I'm not giving you the proper spelling of Klein's Ford group. If you search, usually searching is also very important. Now with the help of internet, you can do many things. Okay, if I ask you the question, search an example of a group of order 4, then all of you can type it on Google, or you may ask Google by your voice recognition and something, but it's sure that not everybody will get the result in exactly same time. So the question is how you are searching. So I will give you a test. I mean, I will show you how to search. So searching is also very important. What should be your keywords through which you are going to search? That is very, very important. So that you need to learn, and when you will able to learn that, then you will find that searching is very, you are very good in searching. That means you will be very efficient in searching, and that will help you for your future studies. Many questions, whatever be the questions related to some competitive exam and all, if you just type it, on Google, you'll find that there is a concept called Stack Exchange. You might not have heard about, many of you might have surely heard about the term Stack Exchange, but many of you may not heard about this term. Many of you might know that Wikipedia and all, but there is a very strong group in internet which is known as Stack Exchange. So whatever be your question, you can post it. You might seen that most of the questions are already answered. Nowadays, it's very difficult to get any new questions in Stack Exchange because most of the questions have been asked there. But you can try your own. If it is a good question, then certainly you will be credited. That means many people will give you a like that, okay, a new question came up. And suddenly, if you ask some question which are already discussed, then somebody will give you a link that please check this link because that question has already been asked. Okay, so Stack Exchange is a very good way of learning because you can ask many questions there and you will get many answers, already done answer. You can already ready made, you can see the answers. So you can see that on one question, many people have given different type of answers, and many of them are correct and many of them are wrong. Many people has already given comments on that. So it's a very good way of learning because nowadays it's not only that books are certainly good, but how to get your answer very quickly, that way you have to be mastered. Otherwise you have to do lots of problems. And while first try to solve yourself, it's not always like whenever you get some problem you just google it and get the answer. That should not be the way. But if you are stuck for say many hours or many days or many months even, then try for Stack Exchange and get the answer. Okay, it's not always that you always query your answer in Google Stack Exchange and you will get the answer. But understanding that answer may not be always good. You have to be good in algebra, otherwise you won't be able to. It's not only on algebra, on every subject that are taught in undergraduate or even postgraduate level, so you'll get the answer there. So that's very interesting and important part of internet that you should know. Okay, so now I will go to few important terms that are related to algebra, especially group theory. First is order of an element. Order of an element. What do you mean by order of an element? Last day I mentioned about what do you mean by order of a group. That means the number of elements of a group, if it is a finite, and if it is infinite, then you will just say that this group is of infinite order. Okay. Now I am going to do what do you mean by order of an element. So let G be a group here. So let G be a group and A belongs to G. Okay. Now I want to check what do you mean by order of an element. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by order of an element?
So,
Is
So
the least
so
positive
order.
integer such that it, it is the least positive integer such that a to the power n is 1 or identity.
okay, very good. Okay, I will come to you after a few minutes. Whatever you told, I just write. So this is nothing but the smallest positive integer n such that a to the power n, that means a composition a n times, that becomes e. Now my question is it correct? It's true or false?
True, sir.
Okay, anybody? So all of you say that it's true. Okay, let us do some facts. Now I have seen that. Let's take g equal to z plus. Okay. Now tell me what is the order of 2?
Say infinite.
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 So according to you, infinite is the smallest positive integer such that, so since this is and additive group, so it has to be infinity times a should be equal to 0, right? So here E is the identity element, and infinity according to you is the smallest natural number, smallest positive integer, smallest positive integer, such that it happens. Do you really agree? But it is your definition. I'm just following your definition, and it's all of yours definition. And now, do you agree with this statement? What from your definition, what I get as a byproduct, do you really agree now? Do you really agree with this? And that's abstract algebra. It really, you have to be little cautious while, but that's with due course of time, if you practice it properly and if you read the statement properly, then you will be seen that that's quite logical, that's the natural. But till now, whatever you told me, I just came up with a conclusion from your statement that okay, so the order of 2 according to you is infinity, and according to your definition, then infinity will be the smallest positive integer, such that infinity into a, or a plus a plus a infinitely many times, that will give you 0. That will really happen, I guess so. From your definition it came up. What would be your conclusion, or what would be your statement now? Any kind of comments that you want to make? Okay, first of all, is this statement true or false? This statement is true or false? So you can add up 2 infinitely many times and that will give you 0, right? Is it true or false? Okay, somebody please tell.
True,
Is
sir.
this is it true? You can add 2 plus 2 plus 2 infinitely many times, and then ultimately you add up with 0.
So maybe 2 doesn't have any order. I don't know.
What is your intuition then? You are adding
Like
2 2
if
2 2
we
2.
add 2 plus 2 plus 2, it will never be equals to 0.
Yes, that can never be 0. So in real analysis, I think you have already come across with divergent series and all. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, it will gradually increase, right? It can never be 0. Then if it is false, then what's about this statement? Okay. So you might have read it in book or maybe in classes, but you have missed a part of it.
If
It says
the
that,
order is infinite, then it happens.
yes, it says that order of an element means the smallest positive integer. If such n exists, then only we call the order of a is n. If no such n exists, then we call the order of that element. Some of the books they said is infinite order, some of the books says it's the order 0. Okay, so if this kind of n exists for this a, we call the order of a as n, and if no such n exists, we call the order of a as infinite. So infinite is nothing but it's a notion, it's no number, nobody has ever experienced infinity. Okay, so it's just a notion, it's a kind of endless notion. So in Indian mythology, this concept of infinity was invented long back. So now the Indian mathematicians, they're trying to prove, not only Indian mathematician, many big shots are now they're trying to show that Indian philosophy was very strong and they believed on infinity. So they had this concept of 0 as well as infinity. Okay, uh, So Oshim and Shunnota. So they are very interesting topics of Indian mythology and Indian mathematical fields. So we were really a great student of mathematics, but unfortunately, currently we are not. But we have to. Okay. Anyway, so now I think the order of an element is quite clear to all of you. Is it? Do you have any question? Please tell me if you have any queries or question. Now tell me what is the order of in Z plus? What is the order of 1? What is the order of 1? Somebody tell me quickly.
Infinity.
Okay, so it's a infinite order, or somebody says it's zero order. Now what is the order of 0? Order of 0?
Sir, one.
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 Because it's the smallest positive integer, right? So you could have 0.0 equal to 0, but this is not a positive integer. So if I put 1.0, that becomes 0. So this is the smallest positive integer. That's why the order of 0 is 1. Now it's clear to all of you? Okay, good. So this is a very important topic, that is the order of an element. So suppose I have already, you have seen that S3. Okay. Now let us try to find the order of the elements. So what are the elements? Let's check E, then 1, 2. I am writing only the cyclic notation. I think you are now quite comfortable with cyclic notation, and you know what do you mean by this notations. 2, 3. And then what are the remaining two elements? Can anybody tell me?
1, 2, 3,
1,
1.
2, 3 or 1, 3, 2.
Very good. 1, 3, 2. So they are the 6 elements. Now, what is the order of this element? Order of E is how much?
1.
1. Now, let us try to find what is the order of 1, 2, 3. Can anybody tell me what is the order of 1, 2? Sorry, 1, 2?
2.
2. Okay,
2.
let's check. So, if it is order 2, then it should be E. If it is order 2, then it should be square of this should be E. So, let us try to find what is the square of 1, 2. So 1, 2, composition 1, 2. Now can somebody tell me what is this value? So as I mentioned, I need to start with this side. So it means 1, 2, 3, 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, sorry, 2 goes to 1, and 3 goes to 3. And it means the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, right? As I mentioned, we need to start from this side first. In my last class, I have already mentioned about how to make the product of these two. So today we will learn how to make a product with respect to this cyclic notation. So start with this, because initially we started with f composition g of x means f of gx. That means you need to first evaluate x by using g and then use that on f. That means I need to start from here. So here 1 goes to 2, and then check where 2 goes, and then 2 goes to 1. That means 1 goes to 1. If something goes to the same place, we do not write it down. So I just cut it down. Then I need to take 2. So 2 goes to 1, and then 1 goes to 2. That means 2 goes to 2. So again, we don't need to write. So both the places 3 goes to 3, and here also 3 goes to 3. That means 3 goes to 3. So we don't need to write anything. That means nothing is written. That means this is nothing but E. Is it clear to all of you? So order of 1, 2 is 2. Now can anybody tell me what is the order of this? So 1, 2, 3.
3.
Okay, let's check. First check what is this value. Quickly, somebody tell me how to check. Start with 1 goes to 2, and here 2 goes to 3, right? That means 1 goes to 3.
1, 3, 2.
Then check with this 3. 3 goes to 1, and then 1 goes to 2. That means 3 goes to 2. Then check with 2. 2 goes to 3, and here 3 goes to 1. That means 2 goes to 1. That means it is closed. Okay. Is this clear? Or otherwise, I will repeat once again. It the same thing. 1, 2, 3. As I mentioned, start with from this side. Here 1 goes to 2, and then check where this 2 goes. Here 2 goes to 3. So ultimately, starting from 1, 2 goes to 3. That means 1 goes to 3. Then start with this 3. Here 3 goes to 1, and here 1 goes to 2. That means 3 goes to 2. Then start with this 2. So 2 goes to 3 here, and then 3 goes to 1. That means ultimately 2 goes to 1. That means the cycle is closed. Is it clear to all of you? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just again composition 1, 2, 3. That means 1, 2, 3 whole cube. That means you are doing 1, 2, 3 again. Now tell me what is this value. So here 1 goes to 2, and then 2 goes to 1. That means 1 goes to 1. I don't need to write then. Start with then 2. 2 goes to 3, and then 3 goes to 2. That means 2 goes to 2. We don't need to write 2. So I'm cutting then 3. So it's already 1 empty is there. So 3 goes to 1 here, and then 1 goes to 3 here. That means 3 is also here. I do not need to write anything. That means E. What do you get? 1, 2, 3 whole cube equal to E. And you see that this is the smallest because 1, 2, 3 whole square was not E, because it was 1, 3, 2. That's why 3 is the smallest positive integer, such that this becomes identity element. To the power of 3 becomes identity. That's why the order is 3. Now somebody tell me what is this order quickly.
3.
Write
3.
down.
3.
Okay, write down the intermediate steps. So 1,
So
3,
it is
2,
becoming
1, 3, 2. Okay, what is this value then?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, again 1 goes to 3, 3 goes to 2, that means 2, and then 2 goes to 1, 1 goes to 3, that means 3, and 3. It has to be, it exhausted all the elements, that's why. So now 1, 3, 2 whole cube equal to, that means 1,
Becomes
2,
identity.
3 composition 1, 3, 2, and you can check this is identity element. So order is 3. So order is 2, and this order is also 2. So one important observation that you need to prove, but you can prove it later on, not at this moment of time, but you can prove it maybe after 2 or 3 classes. I will ask you to prove that one important observation that you can check here. So this is a cycle, right? 1, 2, and again 2 goes to 1. This is another cycle. This is another cycle, cycle and cycle. So all of them are cycles. Now what you observe here, the length of this cycle is 2. The length of this cycle is also 2, 2, and then 3 and 3, and that is same as the order. So in many competitive exams, you never do like this. You never have to make power and so on. From the length, you will able to conclude the order of that element, in particular S3, if it is made up of only a cycle. For example, if I ask you this question, suppose in S101, okay, I give you an element 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 11, 13, 100, and 101. Okay. Now you can check that how many elements are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 elements are there. So one way you can do that, you just check up to 9, right? And you will ultimately find that this value is E. But you can understand that doing this 9 times is not a easy work, especially during the exam when you will have time pressure. But my result, what I am saying is the length is 9, so its order will certainly be 9. So just looking at the length, if it is, remember, if it is only one cycle, then the order of that element will be the length of this cycle. So this is a very important observation. And in many competitive exams, this kind of questions are usually asked. And it's very common in many years in JAM exam, in GATE exam, or in many TIFR exams, you will find similar kind of questions. Okay, now, so the proof is not yet done. I will request all of you to have a look at the proof, but maybe not at this very initial stage, though I understand that many of you have already started reading group theory from very good books, but uh, as I mentioned that I will follow from the very basic steps. So at this point of time, I don't expect from you to give me the proof of this result, but certainly I will ask you this proof maybe after 3 or 4 classes. Okay. Then you will have a certain kind of, you will gain certain kind of maturity on group theory. Now, another important observation. So suppose I consider S5. Okay. And I have suppose this kind of cycle, this kind of element, say 2 3 1 and then 5 4. Okay, so this is a permutation, and this belongs to, certainly belongs to S5. Now if I write it in terms of cycle, how can I write this? Can anybody tell me in cyclic notation how can I write this?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
1, 2,
3,
3, and 4, 5.
4, 5.
Very good. Okay, so now see that this is not made up of only one cycle. So this is a product of two different cycles. Not only that, this is a product of two disjoint cycles. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. No common elements are there. So that is another important issue, that this cycle representation, they are represented in two disjoint cycles. Disjoint cycles. Okay, why this term is important, I will explain you just now. Now tell me, what is this cycle? Can anybody tell me? So this is also a product of two cycles. Can somebody transfer it into this notation? 1 2 3 4 5, and then tell me what are these elements quickly. Is the question clear to all of you? I have given you these two elements from S5, of course, from S5, and given you this and ask you, can you anybody tell me what is this? The other way around.
Sir,
From
this is
here
not
to,
possible because
Sir, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.
okay, somebody told me how much? Could you please repeat?
2,
So
3.
1 goes to 2,
Yes, sir.
2 goes to
3,
3, 3 goes
4,
to
4,
4,
4,
5, 6.
5,
5.
and then
5,
1.
1. Okay. Remember, if you have intersection, that means these four elements are common. Okay, then suddenly you can have this composition. So here you cannot make a composition, right? Because they are disjoint. But here you can, because you can simplify this. So here you can understand that 4 goes to 5. So you start with 4, it goes to 5, and then come to this cycle. Here 5 goes to 5. So ultimately 4 goes to 5. Is it clear this step? 4 goes to 5 here, and then you need to come to this cycle. And here 5 goes to 5 because 5 is absent. That means here 5 goes to 5. So you started with 4, then you end up with 5. That means 4 goes to 5. Now it's 5. 5 goes to 4, and here 4 goes to 1. So ultimately 5 goes to 1. Then here 1 goes to 1, and then here 1 goes to 2. So it's 2. Here 2 goes to 2, and then here 2 goes to 3. Here 3 goes to 3, and here 3 goes to 4. That means the cycle is complete. And you can check that you have already exhausted all the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means here if you write in like this way, so 4 goes to 5, it's correct. Then 5 goes to 1, it's correct. Then 1 goes to 2, it's correct. Then 2 goes to 3 is correct. And then 3 goes to 4, it's correct. Now we understood?
Yes.
Any question, any doubt you have? Please. So these are in competitive exam, you will certainly expect few questions from SN. I am giving you the basic most important results from SN.
Sir,
Okay.
can you please repeat these examples?
Okay. So this part is clear to all of you? Since they are disjoint, you cannot. For example, here 4 goes to 5 and here 5 goes to 5. That means ultimately 4 goes to 5. 5 goes to 4 and here 4 goes to 4. That means ultimately 5 goes to 4. So no change. Similarly, since they are disjoint, this effect will not have any effect on this side. Similarly, this effect will have no effect on this side because they are disjoint. But if they are not disjoint, then suddenly this effect will certainly be propagated through this common point. Okay. So here I started with, I am again doing the same. So as I mentioned, start from this side. So here 4 goes to 5 and then check where 5 goes in this side. Here 5 goes to 5, so ultimately 4 goes to 5. Okay. Then start with this 5 and this side. So 5 goes to 4 and check where 4 goes. 4 goes to 1. That means ultimately 5 goes to 1. Then start with 1. Here 1 is absent. That means 1 goes to 1. And then check where 1 goes. 1 goes to 2. So ultimately 2. 2 goes to 2 here and here 2 goes to 3. 3 goes to 3 here and here 3 goes to 4. And 3 goes to 4 you do not need to write because 3 goes to 4 means your cycle is complete. That means you can stop here and you can make it complete, and you have exhausted all the 5 symbols 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you do not need to worry much about, because no other elements are present here to go somewhere else, because you have exhausted all the elements. So it basically this, and you can write it here. So 4 goes to 5, that's why 4 goes to 5. 5 goes to 1, 5 goes to 1. 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, and 3 goes to 4. 3 goes to 4. Is this clear to all of you now? If you have doubt, please do not hesitate. I can repeat any number of times. But the point is, you have to be clear enough. I mean, it's your responsibility to make yourself clear from me. I can repeat any number of times. Please do not hesitate. Is it clear to all of you? Because that's very important part. Okay, so I assume that you understood it. Very good. Now, the question is, what would be the order of this kind of elements? Okay, what would be the order of this kind of elements if it is a product of more than 2 cycles? Okay, first of all, if these are disjoint, so we are actually looking at the product of disjoint cycles. So order of this is basically the LCM of order of this 1, 2, 3 and order of 4, 5. Remember, first we need to check whether they are disjoint or not. If they are disjoint, then the order of this product of 2 symbols will nothing be but the order of LCM of the first symbol, first cycle, comma, second cycle. So what is the order of this cycle? What is the
6.
order of this?
6.
This is 6. Order of this 1 to 3?
3, 3
3.
and 2. So LCM is 6.
LCM of 3
3
and
and 2
2,
is 6.
and that is nothing but 6. Okay, but sometimes in question paper you will find two cycles which are not disjoint. So if they are not disjoint, then first make a simpler form like this. And so what would be the order of this? Order of this will be same as
5.
order of this, and this is nothing but 5. So many students, they miss this common part and they just remember only this result. So what they write? They write that this order is 4 and this order is 2 and LCM is 2, LCM is 4. They, most of the students, many, not most, many of the students, they actually give the result as order is 4 because its order is 4 and this order is 2. So LCM will be 4 comma, LCM of 4 comma 2 is 4, but the actual result will be the order is 5 because there are some common elements here. Whenever you will have common elements, suddenly you will able to make them simplify, make it in a simplified form and find the order of that simplified form when that will be in a disjoint way. Okay, now I hope you understood it. Let's check how you understood it. Okay, suppose in S11, can you please find out the order of what is the order of this? Quickly, let's see how quick are you. Find the order of in S11. Quickly, anybody? You may be wrong, just give me the answer first.
So 15.
Okay, somebody says 15. Any other answer? Okay, who said 15? Can you please tell your name, please?
So Suvadi Prana.
Okay. Anybody else?
Sir, I think it's 2 because the permutation is 1,
Okay, let
5.
let let me let me let me let me first write it 2. So who told that?
The
Name
Shrestha.
please.
Shrestha.
Sir, 2.
Okay, so there are more votes. So can you tell me what is your name?
Shopnojit.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? So only 3 people did it. I'm sure many of you have might have done something else. That's why they feel that their answer may not be correct. Okay, just tell me what is your answer. I'm not going to beat you. Anybody? Any other answer? No answer. Strange. Okay. Anybody? Imdadul? Imdadul? Are you there?
Sir, order 2.
Try.
Yes. Your answer?
Order is 2.
Okay. First, let me ask Imdadul. Imdadul, what is your answer?
Sir, I am doing.
Still doing. Okay. Who told 2?
Sir, me Onnesha.
Your name, please?
Onnesha.
Onnesha. What is the spelling?
N-W-E-S-H.
N-W-E-S-A. S-H-A.
S-H-A.
S-H-A. Onnesha. Okay. 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 So already we got 3 votes over 2. So let's check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4, 3, 2, then 1, 2, 7. So since 2 is common between these two, so let's first do with this 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 goes to 2 and 2 goes to 4. So 1 goes to 4. Here 4 goes to 4 and 4 goes to 3. 3 goes to 3, 3 goes to 2. And then 2 goes to 7, 7 goes to 7. So 7 goes to 1 and here 1 goes to 1. So 7 goes to 1. That means this is closed. Is it correct? Is it same as yours? All of yours? Those who get
Yes,
2?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's check with this. Now you can see that the 3 is at least common to many of it. Okay, start with 1. So 1 goes to 4 and then 4 goes to 5. Very good. Then 5 goes to 5 here and 5 goes to 1. That means it's closed already. Again, I am repeating. 1 goes to 4 and here 4 goes to 5. Right? So ultimately 1 goes to 5. Now then start with 5. 5 goes to 5 here because it's not present here. That means 5 goes to 5 and then here 5 goes to 1. That means ultimately 5 goes to 1. That means the cycle is closed. Now start with any other symbol. So 1 is already exhausted. Start with 4. So 4 goes to 3 and here 3 goes to 4. That means 4 goes to 4. So you don't need to write it down. Okay, I just cut it down. Then start with 3. So 3 goes to 2 and 2 goes to 3. Okay. Then again 3 goes to 2 and then 2 goes to 3. That means 3 goes to 3. I don't need to write it down. Then start with 2. 2 goes to 7 and 7 goes to 7. That means 2 goes to 7. Then 7, 7 goes to 1 and 1 goes to 2. That means again 7 goes to 2. It's closed. Okay. Any other symbols? You started with all those, exhausted all those, right? Anything else?
No, sir.
And then they are disjoint and its order is 2, its order is 2. And so LCM of this order is 2 comma 2 is 2. So 2 is the answer. Subrodeep, is it clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So now you have any question still now? Okay, very good. Now try to find out all the elements of S4. So till now I have exhausted S3. Now we are going to start with S4. So I need to find all elements of S4. Okay. So that's my aim. So let us try to find all elements of S4. Now, first question is, what is the order of S4? What is the order of S4?
24.
4 factorial, 24.
So 4 factorial is 24. Okay, very good. Now tell me, can you write it down very quickly, the elements of S4? Let's see.
Sir,
So E, very good.
1, 2, 1, 3,
1,
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1 3 1 4 2 3
2
2
4
4 3 4 1 2
3.
3 1 3 2.
Okay, then it's all two cycles are gone.
Yes.
Then I need to check about the 3 cycles. 1 2 3.
1 3 2.
So let's go its lexicographic order. That would be easier for you. Then 1 2 4 1 3 4. Then 2 3 4. Right. So all the 4 cycles are also gone. So 4 out of I mean you have to choose 3 from 4. That means 4 choose 3, and that is 4. Now you need to check the. Now you need to check what? 4 cycles.
Four ordered things.
Okay. 1 2 3 4. Anything else?
1 3 2 4.
Okay. 1 3 2 4.
1 2
Then
4 3.
1 2 4 3.
1 4 3 2.
1 4 3 2. Then why not you should have also give a permutation on this elements also. So why not then 1 3 2? Why not then 1 4 2?
Yes, 1 3 2 should be there, right?
Yes, should be. And it should be 1 4 3, and then 2 4 3 should also be there. And you mentioned about 4 cycles, but 4 cycles.
So there will be more so in 4 cycles.
So anything else?
2 4 3 1.
Again 2 4 3 1.
The 2 4 3 1 is already done. It will be 2 4 1 3.
Okay. 2 4 1 3.
2 3 1 4.
2 3 1 4.
2 1 3 4.
2 1 3 4.
4 4 3 2 1.
4
No, 4
3
3 2
2
1 is
1.
done. 4 3 2 1 is done. 4 3 1 2. 4 3 1 2.
4 3 1 2.
3 1 2 4. 3 1.
Okay, anybody else? So how many elements still? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23. Oh, only one element left. Okay, so tell me.
Sir, 4
Yes.
3 1 2 আর 1 2 4 এই 1 2 4 3 সেম হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
Okay, let's see. So which one? 4 3 1 2 and
4 3 1 2 and 1 2 4 3 is the same now.
1 2 4 3 1 2 4 3. Yeah. So you can write it in cyclic way, right? So this is first write 1 2, and then you just shift it. If I shift like this, then it will come here, then 4 3. Yeah, so these
Yes,
two
it's the
elements are same. So you cannot write it more. Okay, then what else? So 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 elements are already there here. Then So here
Sir,
you have 6 elements.
the
Yes.
2413 and 1324 are same.
Okay, let's check. Which one? 2,
2413.
2413 and
1324.
1324. Yes, that is also same. So you cannot write both. So if you write like this, 1, 3, and then you just shift it here, it becomes, so yeah, so 3, then 1. Yeah, 1, 3, 2, 4. They are same, right? So you cannot write it. So, okay. Anything else? So how many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there any common between this two? Between this?
Said the other elements would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mane product of two cycles.
Very good. So product of 3 cycles. Let's check. Sorry, product of 2 cycles, like 1, 2 composition, 3, 4, then 1, 3 composition, 2, 4, then 1, 4 composition, 2, 3, then anything else?
No said. Done.
Done. Okay. Now calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we managed to get 24 elements. Now the question is there anything left or we are counting twice or not? That's important. So let's have a look at all the elements here. So if I write it like this, then first is E, then all 2 cycle, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, and then 3, 4, right? And then all 3 cycles. What I get? 1, 2, 3. If 1, 2, 3 would be there, its inverse will also be there. What we have seen? Its inverse is 1, 3, 2, right? Then 1, 2, 4. So its inverse is 1, 4, 2. Then we have taken 1, 3, 4. Its inverse is 1, 4, 3. Then we have taken 2, 3, 4. Its inverse is 2, 4, 3. Okay. So here we had how many elements? 8 elements. So here we have 6 elements. Then we have started with 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4, 3. 1, 4, 3, 2. Then 2, 3, 1, 4. 2, 1, 3, 4. Right? So if you write it this in terms of first 1, 4, so you just start with, if you want to write starting from 1, then it is equal to 1, 4, 2, 3. 1, 4, 3, 2 here, but 2, 3 is not here, and you should write it 1, 3, 4, 2. 1, 3, 4, 2, and that is also not here. So you can discard this because these two elements are same as this element. So altogether we get 6. Now we had product of 2 cycles, like 1, 2 composition, 2, 3, sorry, 3, 4, then 1, 3 composition, 2, 4, and then 1, 4 composition, 2, 3. Okay, and here I have 3. So altogether if you count, here I had 1, so it's 1 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 3. Okay, so it is again a kind of representation by this kind of elements. Now the question is, why not in S4? Why should not we had this? Like you cannot have more than 5 cycles, I mean more than 4 cycles, right? Because if you have more than 4 cycles, then 5 symbols should be present, but here you have only 4 symbols to start with, so you cannot have like 1 2 3 4 5, because fifth symbol is not there inside this. So how many cycle types that you could have? So you can think of, this is of cycle length 1, this is of cycle length 2, this is of cycle length 3, this is of cycle length 4. But here you have another cycle which is a product of these two uh, these two types. Now can you please quickly check what would be the orders? So order of this type would be, order if I write like this, so order of this type is 1. Okay, here the order of this type will be exactly 2, order of this type will be exactly 3, and order of this type would be exactly 4, and order of this type would be how much? Order of this type, how much?
2.
2. So if you, in S3 you have already seen, in S3 with respect to orders, how many types of you had? You had 1, you had 2 cycles, you had 3 cycles. And in S4 you had more. You have 1, you have 2 cycles, you have 3 cycles, you have 4 cycles, and you have again product of 2 cycles. That means if I consider this to be orders, then order types are of this form, here the orders of this form. Okay, so here I have two different types of order 2 cycles. One is just a single cycle length of order 2, and other one is two disjoint cycles of each of order 2. That's why the cycle is of this form. Clear? So you can check that if you consider all these 24 elements from S4, you will certainly be able to construct a group of order 24, and this group is nothing but S4. Clear? And now you are able to find all the orders. Now very quickly, can anybody be able to tell me what would be the inverse of elements? For example, first let us try to check what would be the inverse of 1 2 3 4. Can anybody tell me what is the inverse of 1 2 3 4 in S4? Can anybody tell me what is the inverse of this?
Say 4 3 2 1.
4 3 2 1. So if I write it in this way, 1 2, so if I have 1, then this is starting with 1. If I want to write it starting
Sir,
from 1, then 1 4 3 2, right? So you just cyclically shift this here, then it starts with 1, it will look better. Is it correct? Okay, let's check very quickly. 1 2 3 4 composition, 1 4 3 2. Quickly tell me what is this value. So here 1 goes to 4 and 4 goes to 1. So 1 I started with, it comes to 1, so I don't need to write. Start with 2. 2 goes to 1 and 1 goes to 2. That means 2 goes to 2. I don't need write. I do not want to write it here. So start with 3. 3 goes to 2 and 2 goes to 3. Ultimately 3 goes to 3, and then suddenly 4 will go to 4. So 4. So that means this is E. Now very simple way to do that, but you need to do it properly. Like you have to develop the theoretical justification for that. How did I write this? 1 2 3 4 inverse. Just start with the reverse way. Like start with 4, go to 3, then 2, then 1. He just told me in that way. And that is the inverse of this. So whatever single cycle, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in say S9, whatever may be, just write in a opposite direction. That means 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you want to write 1 first, then just cyclically shift, 1 will come here and it will like 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. So that will be the inverse of this. But whatever I am saying to you is just a kind of tricks. But this tricks, behind this tricks, mathematics, rich mathematics is there. So initially I will give you just the results, then thoroughly we will go for the proofs of all these results. I will tell you to do the proofs from any book, whatever, but I will ask you the formal proof of this kind of results, because formal writing is also very important. Unless you are able to write, how to write it properly, you can see that it is working, but that is not all about mathematics. You, whatever, you first should develop a kind of intuition. When your intuition is quite clear, then you will able to prove this, and that technique is very important. That's why I'm not going, I am actually, I always teach in a reverse way. I first give you a example and then get inside of it and then try to prove it. If you can understand the theory through examples, then proving that statement will be very clear. Then somebody may have some intuition, they can think their own to give a proof, and that proof technique could be even much better than whatever is available in the book. I have seen many good students who have already developed good results, good proof techniques out of the questions. So they do not read the book, they just try to find on their own how to prove this. It's nothing but a permutation, and you'll be surprised to know that the group theory, the development of group theory actually started with this kind of taking the permutations and all. One class I will devote on the history of groups, but that will be maybe after few classes. Then you will realize that this, the group theory started with this kind of permutations, combinations and all, and then solving a system of quadratic equation, quintic equation and all. So you know that you can solve a equation of maybe 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree or 4 degree. Like for 2 degree equation, solving that you can use Sridhar Acharya formula. For 3 degree or 4 degree you might have used Cardens or Ferrari method. But what's about if your equation is of degree 5 or more? Then is there any general formulae to give? Like Sridhar Acharya's formula can solve any 2 degree equation in one variable, right? Similarly, for Cardens or Ferrari, you can solve any 3 or 4 degree equations with one variable. Now the question is, if I have any 5 degree equation, can you solve it using the Searles and indices? The answer is no. And Galois and another famous mathematician, they first came up independently the proof of this result, and that's very important and very interesting. But at that time they even didn't know the formal definition of group theory what you study today. So today you tell that okay, G and composition having the associativity, identity and inverse, it forms a group. At that time, when the when Galois they did it, at that time it was not Abel. Abel also did the same thing. So Abel and Galois, they independently proved almost in the similar time. They proved it, but at that time they did not have any idea about the formal definition of the group that you study today. This kind of proof or this kind of definition, we call it axiomatic definition, and it came long back after they gave developed lots of interesting results. But when they are actually doing things, they actually did it with respect to this kind of permutations, not like formal definition of S3 and all. They started with permutations, functions, then solving equations and all. From there they derived some results, and later on these results are accumulated in a single place, and then after maybe 90s this name group theory came. So I will devote some time on the history of group theory. That's quite interesting, but you will appreciate when I will explain little more results like Lagrange's theorem and then Fermat's little theorem and all. Then you will able to understand how the history actually went in that during that time. Okay, but these are very interesting and very important aspect of group theory is this permutation group. And another term that I'm going to coin now is known as non-commutative group and commutative group. So another two important terms, they are commutative and non-commutative. Non-commutative group. Okay, so just now we have coined one term that is known as order of an element. Another very important term in group theory is known as commutative group and non-commutative group. Later on, maybe in near future, if somebody is interested in algebra, he or she may study commutative algebra. Commutative algebra. So you can understand that this name commutative has lot of extension for future algebra. Commutative algebra. Okay, and Atia McDonald's book is one of the famous books for this commutative algebra. But at the time, for this time being, I don't expect you to study that book because that requires a lot of extra things that you may be able to learn maybe in the next semester or next semester, and then after that you may start with this commutative algebra, but that could be for advanced students, and I'm sure that many of you from this class will certainly like this commutative algebra part and all. So that's a futuristic process, but not now. So the question is, what do you mean by a commutative group? So as I mentioned, we had already a group with respect to some composition, and we call a group G. G is said to be a commutative group if A composition B equal to B composition A for all AB belongs to G. If you take any two elements from the group, if with respect to composition, if you can interchange the elements for any pair of such elements, then we call this as a group, which is a commutative group. So sometimes it's also known as abelian group. Abelian group, and this name actually came after the famous mathematician just now, as I mentioned, Abel. So this name abelian group came with to give respect or homage to Abel. So after Abel named this name, abelian group came into picture. Okay, but again I will show you when I will describe you about the history that Abel actually did not coin this term commutative. So actually he did not have any idea about the axiomatic definition of groups. He only dealt with the permutations and all, and based on something afterwards, famous mathematician, I will give you the name in details, who actually gave this commutative group after his name. His name was Abel, and that's why after his name it was given a name abelian group. So abelian and commutative, in respect to this commutative property, sometimes we also call it abelian group. So what is non-abelian group? A group which is not commutative is called non-abelian group. So a group which is which is not which is not commutative is called non-abelian, non-commutative or non-abelian group. Okay, so let us try to find out. If I consider, say, Z class, we have already seen that this is a group. Is this a commutative group? Yes or no? True or false?
Yes, sir.
So it is
Yes.
okay. Very good.
Yes, sir.
If I consider, say, GL2R with respect
No,
to,
Non-commutative.
sir.
No,
so
sir.
it's a non-commutative. Take any two elements, say 3, 4, and then maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so those having roll number even compute this, and those having roll number odd compute this, and tell me the answer quickly. Quickly. That quick computation is also very important. Quick and correct computation. For JAM exam or for some competitive exam, you have to have be very quick, as well as this answer should be correct. So even odd, anybody tell me? You are taking too much of time. It should not be the case. Tell me quickly.
So first one is 9, 5, 22, 13.
Is it for those who have done it? Is it correct?
So second one is 11, 16, 19, 28.
Yes, sir.
I-
11, 16, 19, 20.
The first one, is it correct to all? First one, somebody? Any other answer? First one, quickly tell me, true or false? This is true or false? Quickly. Anyway, whatever may be the value. So if you see that these two are not the same, if I am assuming that this is correct, if not, you can check on your own. But you see that if we consider AB and if then it is BA, so you can see that AB not equal to BA. And if it fails for at least one pair of such elements, then you can certainly say that this group is non-commutative. Okay, but this group is commutative. Now what's about S3? S3, will that be a commutative or non-commutative?
Non-commutative.
Non-commutative.
Why? So from the conditions, we have already seen that this value r square f equal to f into r. So if could be r square, then you might have some chance that it may be commutative. But since r square was also an element, f was also an element, here r was also an element, f was also an element, so it's not r square f not equal to f r square. So S3 is also non-commutative. So you can say that S3 is non-commutative, right? So you can take a permutation product and then you can also check, say 1, 2 composition, say 2, 3. What is this value? Quickly tell me.
1, 2, 3.
And then 3 goes to 2, 2 goes to 1. So, and what is this value? 2, 3 composition 1, 2. What is this value? And then 3 goes to 3, 3 goes to 2. So this value
1.
is 1, 2, 3. So they are not equal, right? So S3 is not commutative. Okay, if I ask you the question, Sn is a non-commutative group, non-commutative group, true or false?
True, sir. But S2 is commutative.
Very good. So if I ask you this question, then this question is incomplete because I have not talked anything about n. If I ask you the question n greater than equal to 2, then suddenly the answer will be false because H2, how many elements are there? 2 elements are there. What are these elements? E and then 1, 2. Okay. So you can understand that since E and another element is there, then it will be commutative, because E into 1 2 is always 1 2 into E. Similarly, 1 2 into 1 2 is always E. E into E is always E. So it's commutative. So S2 is a commutative group. But if n is greater than equal to 3, then suddenly this is always commutative, non-commutative. So any n greater than equal to 3, Sn is always a non-commutative group. But if it is greater than equal to 2, then it is 2 is commutative. As a result, the statement will be false. So that this minute or minor points play very important role in competitive exams. You know the answer, but you somehow, you due to the time pressure, you might have missed this point, and it was given 2, and you know that for n greater than equal to it is non-commutative, but you missed this point 2 and you just ticked it, it's true. But that should not be the case. So you have to be very careful while dealing with the competitive exams, and there are a lot of mistakes that you commit which are basically silly mistakes. But if from the very beginning, if you are very cautious, and if you do lots of problems, then you will able to understand that this unforced error can be minimized, and that is really good for your exam. Okay, so now you have ideas about Sn a bit. I have given you few interesting properties of Sn. What I request you, just keep in your mind, when you will proceed further, you will able to prove it formally for any n. Is for general Sn, the results that I have stated, the length is same as the order of that element, etc., that you will able to prove, but may not be at this point of time. But I request you to all to explore yourself and try to prove on your own, and try to find some of the ways to prove it. That for that you don't require any bigger tools of abstract algebra. Simple permutations are there. Try to think yourself in a very simple way. If you think it in a cumbersome way, you will sometimes feel very uncomfortable. But sometimes simple thinking can give you a very good and elegant result. So that's very important. That's why I always encourage my students to think in a very simple way. So now you come across with this term, commutative group and non-commutative group, order of an element, etc. So for the next class, what I am mentioning you is that you have already given 20 different groups, and you have already written it on your exercise book. Now revisit that examples and figure out which groups are commutative and which group are not. Okay. In the meantime, you can increase your list of examples, and then there also you try to classify which groups are commutative and which groups are not. Try to find out, is there any elements of finite order within that group? What are the elements which are of finite order? What are the elements which are of infinite order? You have already mentioned about, we have already mentioned about finite groups and infinite groups. So try to characterize which groups are finite and which groups are not infinite, and etc. So on. So till now we have already discussed about few very important terms of group theories, and there you can already started on your own finding out few interesting problems or few interesting examples of groups, and there you explore all the terms that I have given to you today. Next, what I'm going to do is very interesting again. Okay, maybe in the next class I will do that. Okay, so I think I can stop here, and if you have any question or queries, you are welcome to ask me.